Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of that Portuguese Knitter. Today we have a different episode. It's a travel episode to show you a little bit of my trip to London, the yarn shops that I visited, all the knitting related stuff, along with some snippets of my trip with my family. I decided that I won't be doing a vlog style approach to the yarn shops because the city was very busy, so it was really noisy, and that was not the experience that I wanted to give to you. So I decided to film and then do a voiceover when I got home, so it will be a little bit more organized. So I hope you liked it that way, and let's go along and see what I have seen in London. So, during this trip to London, we were staying at Bloomsbury, which is one of my favorite areas in the city. We got to see a little bit of the area, to visit Russell Square Gardens, and interact a little bit with the animals there. The squirrels, well, they were too naughty at this time of the year. I love to see this bug hotel, which is provided by the Imperial London hotels nearby. It was just the beginning of December, but the city was already lightening up for Christmas. I decided to cast on a small project as a travel project for this trip, which is a beanie for my son. Of course, we had to go to the Natural History Museum, which was very busy. My son was delighted by all the dinosaurs he got to see because he's very into dinosaurs. And I got to knit a little bit. We were so lucky with the weather, at least most of the days, which meant that we were able to wander around the streets of London and visit our favorite bookshops. This is one of them, maybe my favorite, John Sandel Books. It has the most cozy interiors of the bookshops I know in London, as well as a great selection. I could stay here all the afternoon, but I was happy to leave with one special book. Then we got to go to Shepherd's London, which is a bookbinding store, which I loved. I really was fascinated with their papers, their stationery. It was a lovely, lovely visit. And then I was able to go to Beautiful Knitters. I peeked into their window and I saw this cute teapot cover, which I found very British. And when I went inside, the store was actually quiet, so I was able to see all the yarns, talk with the lovely girl that was at the store. And leave with a pair of skeins for 2 small projects that I have in mind with DK yarn. Then we went to Cecil Street, which is one of my favorite streets in London. It's so quiet, but it is full of art galleries, bookshops, especially second-hand bookshops. and also specialty shops like this one, which was specialized in Alice in Wonderland stuff, mainly books. I even saw an artwork that I recognized the landscape. I thought it was in Portugal, in Algarve, and I went to see, and it actually was. That's why I recognized it immediately. We were very close to Covent Garden, which meant that we were able to go in there several times during our trip, despite we were skipping all the busy streets as much as possible, like Piccadilly, Regent Street, and so on. But we also did some touristic stuff because we had a toddler and we really wanted to see the little soldiers during the change of the guard, so we went there. And because of that, we are near St. James Park, and we went there to run around, have a lunch, and play a little bit on the playground. I even was able to find a spot to sit and knit a little bit on my son's beanie. On this afternoon, we were able to go to Richmond. I got to visit the open book bookshop, which was also very interesting, and the lady inside was very helpful and friendly. We ended our afternoon at Richmond Park with a lovely walk and a play in the playing ground. We were so lucky because we were there on the night of the cold moon, which is the last full moon of the year. And as you can see, it was huge, and it was very special to go there during the cold moon. And actually we decided to go to Richmond in this afternoon because we had tickets to see the Christmas at Kew, which was a very interesting way of seeing Kew Gardens. There were so many lights and so many people. But it was a great show, a spectacular show actually. I didn't film a lot of food during this trip, but you have to believe me, we ate a lot of very cozy meals. On this day, we were near Notting Hill, and I was able to appreciate all the Christmas wreaths on the doors and visit more bookshops. This one, Books for Cooks, is a very lovely one. I wasn't allowed to film inside, but it was premium. Then I went to Notting Hill Bookshop, and I must say I lived very disappointed. I was there before once, and it didn't convince me at the time, and I must say it didn't convince me at this time either. Then we went to Hyde Park to run around. Unfortunately, the playground was closed, which was a bummer for our son, but we got to run for a little while before the rain started. So we got to shelter onto the Wallace Collection restaurant, which was a splendid room. And then before my son's naps, we got to go to Dun Books, which was nearby. It was a lovely bookshop with very friendly people there, and I got to buy some more books. And while my son napped, I was able to go to Loop London, which was my second and final yarn shop of this trip. It was very cozy. It has two stores. The main store is mostly accessories and fingering weight yarn, and the second floor is mainly DK and orange and bulky weight yarn. It was lovely, and I will show you what I picked up from there. Then we got to go to the Covent Garden area again because we're staying very close by, and I went to shoes keeping. And I have to say, I didn't know it was so well known by everyone. I felt a little bit overwhelmed, and I came back empty-handed because at one point it was a little bit too much for me. It was a little bit busy, and I must say I enjoyed my experience in Shepherd's London more than my visits into choosing keeping. And so just before we went for a nice walk by the river, I just peeked into Foyles to get this lovely book, The Country Commonplace book by Miranda Mills, who I follow here on YouTube. Finally, on the next day, we got to go to another kid-friendly place in London, which is Spitalfields City Farm, which was a very nice visit because it was so calm, and my son got to feed and cuddle several animals which he loves. He saw the bees going into the hive, and I was followed by this robin, and I felt so calm at that moment while he was chasing me. It was so interesting to see him doing that. It was a very lovely visit to this farm, and I got to see the most cute sheep I ever saw in my entire life. Look at that. I hope you liked it to come around with me, and I will see you at home. So that was fun. That was a lot of fun. It was a tough week because in the middle of the trip my son got sick, and we had to manage that with our visits, so it was a little bit tough in the end. So about the middle of the visits, I stopped sharing about my progress on the little travel knitting project that I was doing, but I will show you everything I've done since then, so you get a little bit of perspective of what I was able to knit during that week. First of all, let's show you what I got at the local yarn shops there. The first yarn shop I visited was Beautiful Knitters, and I really liked the shop. It was a bit busy when I was approaching the store, but then I got to film a little bit outside, and when I went inside, the store was just peaceful, and I was able to browse the yarns with time and space, and to chat a little bit with the girl that was at the store at that moment, and she was able to give me advice. I was looking for a DK yarn so I could do 2 different beanies, one for me, one for my husband. So because I tend to, when I'm abroad, I tend to stick with fingering weight yarn because it's very approachable to do small projects like socks and so on. But in this occasion, I was thinking about 1 or 2 projects that I had in mind to do. So I knew that I wanted a DK yarn, and I also knew that I was able to do one of the projects with 1 single skein of DK yarn and another project with another single skein of DK yarn. And I saw a little bit of locally or British dyed yarns by some indie dyers, but they were mainly fingering yarn, so I didn't found any DK yarn that I could buy for this type of project. Slash, they all had superwash merino, which I really don't like, not for this kind of project, so I resisted a bit to take those yarns home and selected another type of yarns, which are also British wool. They're just 2 similar skeins in 2 different colors, The brand is by Laxton's, which is, I think it's a Yorkshire, it's a Yorkshire brand. So this yarn is 100% British wool that is spun by Laxton's from fleece to the finished yarn in less than 50 miles, which is something I really like to buy. A very locally produced yarn, and it is 100% blue-faced Leicester. I haven't knitted with blue-faced Leicester before, and I must try it because this is the third, the third skein of blue-faced Leicester yarn that I buy, and I haven't knit anything with it, so I might be using this very, very soon. This will be a beanie for me, maybe regular beanie, stockinette, maybe a ribbing, and that's all. And this one, which is a blue-based one, it will be a beanie for my husband with a more intricate design, because he saw me using this one, which I knitted years ago. It is the pattern is Tied Knots by Justyna Lorkowska, and I really liked it. I don't really remember the yarn that I've used. I might link it below, but he tried this on and he really liked it, the pattern, so I decided to buy this one to make it for him. This color, it's named Eigsgard. I don't know if it's the correct name or the correct way to spell it, but it is a blue yarn. It is a little bit gray based. I don't know if you can really see. And this one, the color is called Mayam DK, and in this case it's not gray based, it's more beige based. So, but it is a subtle olive green, beige olive green color that I really like. And because I really like seeing my husband using blue, I decided to go for this color for him. So these were the two skeins of yarn that I bought at Beautiful Knitters, and I'm very happy with them, and I can't wait to start and try this blue-faced Leicester yarn that I've been loving. As you were able to see during the video, I only visit another yarn store. I know there's a lot of yarn stores in London, but I also knew I won't be able to peek into each one, but I knew that Beautiful Knitters and Loop London will be in reach. So I decided to go to Loop London one day while my son was napping, and there I was able to buy one skein of DK yarn and 3 mini skeins of fingering weight yarn. First of all, I decided to go for the mini skeins because I want to introduce some contrast in my socks for the cuff, the heel, and the toes, but I didn't have many colors or lots of contrasting colors for my socks, and so I decided to purchase these 3 mini skeins. And the other reason then is because I might do an Advent project next year, and for that I will be gathering some mini skeins during the 2026 year, so I have this Advent project ready to go when Advent arrives next year. These mini skeins are from actually French based yarns. The yarn brand, it is called V-Lane, but are done specifically for Loop London, and the base is 75% merino and 25% nylon, which is a regular sock yarn, and I have it in 3 different colors. This is Going Nuts. This is called Sleeping Fingers in the Door, I guess it's the color that you get when you slip your fingers on the door. And this color, it is called In the Sunflower's Shade. So yeah, I thought the names were very precise to the 3 colors that I purchased, and I'm very happy with the colors. And one brand that I really wanted to try was Knitting by Numbers. And when I went to look, they had this one and also, I guess, a fingering weight yarn. But I really wanted a DK yarn again because of this hat. I decided that I wanted some gloves or mittens or fingerless mittens to go with it, and so I decided to pick this color. The composition of the yarn is 50% Buffet Lancaster again and 50% Falklands Merino. Well, this is apparently it's not that locally produced because Falklands is in Argentina, but I don't really know if they have the ship from Argentina in the UK or that they import the yarn. This again is a British brand. It is designed, blended and spun at our mill in Devon, UK, and it's very soft. It's softer than this one. This is a little bit more harsh, not that much, but a little bit more than this one, and I guess it's because the blended merino. So I'm very happy with my purchases. I think we do have a color palette here. I didn't do it on purpose, but I guess that's my vibe at this point. So knitting wise, this is all I bought during this trip. There's really not too much because again, I'm not a big buyer while I'm away, unless I have a project in mind. But I have something else to share with you because I was knitting at the time my Christmas sweater, and it was at this point where it was too big to take it with me on the trip. So I decided to cast on a small travel project, and I decided to cast on a beanie for my son because he needed one. I was looking through my stash and I decided that I could use some scraps that I had, scraps from A Double Sunday by Sanders Garns, and also of Rosario's 4 or Rosario's 4 Merino for us in 2 different colors. And with that, I was able to do this beanie, which is almost ready. I didn't block it yet. These 2 colors are Merino for us from Rosario's 4, and this one is Sanders Garns. I guess it's one of the colors that I use for this Frankie sweater. And I made a small pom-pom that I think it was a bit too big, and the only thing I have to do is attach it, but I will block it first. And then, because I finished this on the middle of the trip, I decided to cast on 2 little mittens to match the beanie. And I didn't use specific patterns nor for the beanie or the gloves, but I reference 2 different free patterns from Ravelry that I can link below, that I used as a base for stitch counting, etc. But I made lots of adaptations. It is a simple project, so yeah, I will link them below so you can follow them if you want, but please make sure you understand that I made a lot of alterations. Again, I didn't block those. I will do it right away when I finish the podcast, so I can add my pom-pom. This is the smallest pom-pom maker I have, so I might have to trim it. I don't know, maybe not, maybe it's okay. Let me know. What do you think? Should I trim it or not? So finally, when I came back, I had to finish my Christmas sweater, which is not finished yet, but it's quite done. I already finished the body, one complete sleeve, and I'm about to finish my second sleeve, so it's almost done. I'm sad I'm not able to show you today, but yeah, I'm very happy with the results. I think I managed the color work very nicely, but we'll see. I have to block it to see the finished results. Until now, I did a small alteration, which was, I was seeing that the body was becoming too wide for me. And so I added, I guess were two rows of decreases near the end of the body. So it will fit a little bit more my body type. But rather than that, it is exactly the same pattern. So I made no alterations, not even in the sleeves. The length of the sleeves is okay for me. So yeah, for now, there's no complaints. I just wanted to finish it. It's very close to Christmas now, so I hope I will be able to finish it, block it, and get it ready to wear it on Christmas Day. And because I wasn't able to wear this today, let's talk about what I'm wearing, which is my Dream Cardigan by Kika. And her piece is a little bit different because the yarn content that I used is a little bit different. I used the heavy merino from Knitting for Olive with a strand of silk mohair in the same color. I think the color is Rust, and which is a little bit of a different composition from what she uses for her sample, which I really also love, but I wanted the heaviness of this yarn. But I'm very tempted to cast on a new project with the same cardigan in a bigger size, and maybe with the sloppiest yarn, which was exactly what she chose to use for her sample. It is a very nice cardigan. It's half fisherman rib. It was the first time I've done it, and it was also the first time I did a double knitted border for the button band. So I think I went into this a little bit naive because it was a lot to learn, but I was able to do it in the end. Half fisherman's rib is a little bit of a challenge if you want to correct mistakes, but I've done it. I already don't remember how to do it, but I've done it. It's basically logic, so I might be able to do it anyway again. So I'm very happy with it. And finally, I've been enjoying my Firefly Notes Teach Marker calendar, advent calendar that I wasn't able to show you the last time because it was wrapped. Since then I opened it, and until now I was able to find a small bird, a bee, a teapot, and a little heart. I can show you. This is my favorite. Of course, bees are very special, but yeah. So let's see, I don't have an opinion because for it's not that much. So let's see in the end what I think about it. I figured that it's mostly nature related, but we'll see. I have a heart and a teapot already, so let's see. So I think that's all for today. That's all I wanted to share with you. For now, I hope you have a beautiful Christmas season or holiday season, whatever you enjoy, with lots of knitting, lots of cozy moments with your families and your loved ones. And I hope to see you on the beginning of 2026. Thank you. Bye.